Welcome back to Beatmap Batrep episode 10, Deathwing vs. Tyranids. Turn 4 of this rematch series, and it's going to be Tyranids Turn 4. So there's still a lot of really not quite sure who's going to be winning this when you look at it, because both sides are doing quite well and quite poorly at the same time. So we're moving up the zone thropes, who have already managed to take out 2 Vindicators. I'm quite happy with them. Usually they do nothing. They fail either their psychic test or they don't hit. Now they're going to try to hit this Dreadnought. They make both their psychic attacks, they manage to both hit, and they manage to both roll penetrating hits, and they actually manage to both blow it up as well. So it explodes, and nothing gets hurt because of it. The Trigon is going to try to take down this Land Speeder. He does a lot of shots into it, glancing it or penetrating it a couple times, ripping off one of its weapons, and stunning the crew as well. And then he moves in to assault it. He gets 7 automatic hits from it because it didn't move last turn, because it had been already stunned by the Hormagaunts as well, and he completely destroys it. The Gene Stealers are trying to take down this Dreadnought. They're getting lots of hits in, but they're just having a hard time at their strength 4 getting in there. That's finally a penetrating, and they roll a 1, so basically it's not really going to do anything. He tries to hit back and does nothing, so once again, tied combat. The Hive Tyrant against Belial, he manages to get 3 hits on him, and he gets his 5+ invulnerable save, and he makes 2 of them, so he only takes 1 wound. So he takes his first wound. Now the Hive Tyrant is going to get hit by Belial. He hits on 4s, and then he is on 6s re-rolling. No wounds there, and he manages a wound. So once again, it's tied combat between the Hive Tyrant and Belial. Samuel's hitting the Hormagaunts, and he manages to get a lot of hits in. And he only needs to get 2s to wound because they're only toughness 3, so he does manage to take out a bunch of the Hormagaunts as well. Hormagaunts do get to hit back on the same initiative, so I do get lots of attacks here, and I fail to wound him very much. I only get 3 wounds, but he fails all 3 armor saves, and so he actually dies because he couldn't roll 3 pluses on those 3 dice. So the Hormagaunts are now moving out. That's another kill point for the Tyranids, and they're spreading out, getting ready to be hit on the Deathwing Turn 4. You can see the turns are going a lot faster now that there's a lot less on the board. So his Land Speeders are both getting in a position to gun down the Hormagaunts as best they can. The Terminators are going to get in a position to take down the Zone Thropes as best they can. And the Zone Thropes, at this point, if they die, they've still taken out 3 vehicles, which is awesome. So lots of shots from all the heavy bolters and assault cannons and everything else from the Land Speeders, taking out a large chunk of those Hormagaunts, not quite killing them all. Terminator firing 2 crack missiles into the Zone Thropes, and he fails his 3+ invulnerable, and he does get instant death because it is a strength 8 versus toughness 4. Now the Storm Bolters are going to the other one, manage 3 wounds, and he fails 2 of the invulnerables, and he dies. So there is a kill point now for the Deathwing. So now we got lots of hits against this Dreadnought, and he finally immobilizes it, and he rolls to hit back and does nothing. Still tied combat. Hive Tyrant attacks Belial, wounds him a couple times, and he makes both of his invulnerable saves and survives. He rolls to hit back, misses most of them, only wounds once, actually fails to wound at all, and so that's another tie combat. So we look at the end of round 4, and there's not much left on the board. The rest of the Gene Stealers are coming in. Hopefully they'll make it to those Terminators. The Trigon's still alive. Those Dreadnoughts are desperately trying to kill that Dreadnought. The Hive Tyrant is engaged in a one-on-one epic combat. The score is currently 9-6 for the Tyranids. So they are ahead by 3 points. Now we're going to enter Tyranid Turn 5 to see what happens. Gene Stealers run up. They do get within charge range of those Terminators, so we're going to see if they're going to be able to wipe out that squad or if they're going to get taken down themselves. The Trigon moves up. He decides that he's going to help out the Hive Tyrant because the Hive Tyrant's having a hard time finishing off Belial on his own. And so he charges in against Belial. Now he'll hit after everybody else because he's initiative 5, but hopefully that won't matter. Gene Stealers all charge in here, as well as the Hormagaunts, trying their best to take out these Terminators. Now we're going to scratch again at this Terminator, or Dreadnought, see if we can take it down. He got a bunch of hits in, and they failed to get any rending. He goes to hit back. He fails both of them, and once again, that is tie combat between the 2 of them. The Gene Stealers have 3 attacks each against all these Terminators, all hitting on strength 5, so they're hitting on 3s, and then wounding on 3s, and 6s rending. And there's just an incredibly large amount of wounds and a lot of rending, and he's rolling all those right now. But you're going to basically see that the entire squad gets wiped out because they cannot stand up against all that rending. The one that did stand up against the rending fell to the 4 other wounds that it took. So unfortunately that squad is gone. The Hormagaunts didn't even do anything there, so they could have charged something else, but you know, it's not much point in trying to use them against other things. They could have charged maybe a Land Speeder. Hive Tyrant goes against Belial, manages to wound him plenty of times, and he does make 2 of his invulnerable saves, so he only loses 2 of his wounds. He goes to hit the Hive Tyrant back. Can he finally kill him? Hits on 4s, now he's going to wound on 6s. Nothing, but he gets to reroll. And he finally gets that 6 and takes down the Hive Tyrant. And the Trigon then gets his turn. He gets to reroll his attacks. All of them missed, and then all of them hit. So thank goodness for rerolls. He rolls again, and he manages to wound him 7 times, and finally finishes off Belial. So let's see what the Deathwing can do in their turn. Can they come back? Can they get enough points in order to tie the game, or maybe even win? So the Land Speeders are moving over, and they're obviously going to open fire on the Hormigons, because that's going to be the easiest way to get a kill point. So they get lots of hits, and they all wound on 2s, and they do manage to kill that group of Hormigons. So now we have this group of Genestealers attacking the Dreadnought, and they manage to get a rending in, and then it doesn't go high enough. And then he goes to hit back, and he rolls a 1 when he rolls to wound. So we have a final score of Tyranids 11, Deathwing 8. When we played it, we actually thought that it was a tie game. For some reason, we added it up really bad and thought the final score was 7-7, but I don't know where we were doing our math that day. So unfortunately, that does mean
he does not get the $25 gift certificate. So he does not get that. He still gets $10 for coming out and playing. So it was a really good rematch. That was a close game all the way to the end.
Yep.
And it was a great game. A lot of fun. So thank you very much.
Oh, no problem, man.
And I hope that you enjoyed this Beat Matt Batrep.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for the next one, which should come out in a few days. And remember, go to miniwargaming.com to see all of our videos 1 month early. We put them on our site 1 month before everything else. This is Matthew from Mini Wargaming. Happy wargaming.
Visit miniwargaming.com to see our videos 1 month early.